Chase McGee here with the Winning Brand Podcast. Atlanta, are you ready? August 23rd, 8 p.m. at the Midtown Collective, we are coming to you with the Winning You Live Podcast Tour. Sharing the stage with me will be Ashley and Marcy from the School of Life podcast, as well as Melissa Lee West with the Fit for Legacy show. So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets today at thewinningyoutour.eventbrite.com.
This is the Winning Brand Podcast, the podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and small businesses level up with the right tools and resources to help you win in business. Now your host, Chase McGee.
Hello, winners. Welcome to the live episode of the Winning Brand Podcast. I'm Chase McGee, your host for today. Please make sure while you're here, you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel every week so that you can get your weekly doses of business. So I have a very special show for you today. I know you're like, Chase coming with all these lives. Yes, because I want you to get used to it, right? So joining me today are three awesome people, and they are going to introduce themselves, starting with Michelle.
I'm Michelle Harden, compassionately known as the Brand Master. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show today.
My absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Hi, and I'm Branden Morris, partner at Basil Solutions and Basil Construction. And thank you for letting me be on your show.
Oh, awesome. Again.
Right?
I'm Carol Guest. I am the chair of the board for the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm an attorney with the Guest Group commercial real estate business.
Don't we love it? As I say, every week I will bring you content that will help you elevate your business so that you can become the winning brand. So I want to start with Michelle, right? Because the foundation, right? I love it. So once you get through the initial phases of the mindset of starting a business, and I want to bring it back a little bit because around 6 years ago, you wrote a book.
Okay.
That I bought.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
And fell in love with. Whatever you do, brand you.
Yes.
And it just stuck with me, and it really was a core
Okay.
of the way that I developed my business and
Awesome.
the way that it kind of set that and laid that foundation for me. So let's talk about that. How important is branding?
Wow. I believe that branding is critical to anything that you do, but there's been some misconception about branding. You know, normally when you go to a consultant, they want to sell you a pack of business cards or, you know, logos, website. But really, branding is, what is your vision that leads to your mission? Mission never changes, but your vision can change or be altered. But it really tags into what are your core competencies? What are you good at? What can you do that nobody else can do? And so when you identify that one thing, then I think you're ready for a brand. But it's not just coming up with the name of a business or just saying, I want to start cooking. Why do you want to start cooking? You know, and how do you see yourself different than everything else that's out there? So you have resources that lead to capabilities that lead to your core competencies. And then that allows you to establish really who you are, what you do, and why people should care.
I love it. So branding a business and personal branding is a little different.
Yes.
So talk about the two, because I know people are out here in the streets thinking they're branding themselves or should be branding themselves. And they're getting it all mixed up. So let's talk about personal branding and how they can really kind of incorporate being the brand first before they can actually have a brand.
I think that's good because you alluded to something when we were off air before we got started, that your goal was being able to share businesses to the world.
Right.
Okay. So your vision and your mission is not about you. Your vision and your mission is about who you can help that's outside of yourself. Nice. So building a personal brand is identifying who you are, that you become the expert, answering the solution to what somebody else needs. Oftentimes you'll see someone branding themselves just to say, I'm this icon, or I'm this person that's, I do this. But how does that bring answers to a world or global problem that we see? Branding, to me, is very intimate. You're allowing people to come into your world and allowing them to see really who you are and what they can discover as they begin to discover who they are and what they have to give. So I believe that branding, as it relates to personal, it's important that you really be clear so you're not being a duplicate, or you're not being a copycat.
Right.
You're being an original and authentic you, who you were called to be. And as we help people and coach people in that mindset, it is cutting the edge of what has been taught traditionally on what personal branding is. It is so much more than having a logo or having the colors red, black. It is more in identifying the personality and who you're called to serve. It's all about serving. When you look at what you guys do, it's serving. It's
Right.
serving.
And I
meeting a
say
need.
that all the time. It is about serving. If you're not serving in your business, do you really have a business? What is it at that point? What do you call that? And for the people that are, as you were saying, they kind of get lost in the sauce and they're looking at other people and comparing themselves. And I tell people, once you get focused and get tunnel vision and stay in your lane, you can't crash. So stay focused on that. I love that.
Yeah.
So Branden, you help these folks find money.
Yes, I do.
And you teach them how to pitch to get the money.
Wow.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Let's talk about that, because I don't really think people understand that concept. They think they have to go to a bank. They think it's so difficult, and so they give up.
You're right. I mean, there are so many non-conventional ways to finance your business. So basically, the consultancy part of the business dynamic that we have is I do small business consulting at the Houston Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center. And that's a program that is funded by several grants by Fortune 500 companies. And it allows for you to come in and get access to resources that you may not already have access to. We don't see competition in the city. We just see collaboration.
Yeah.
There are so many resources here. You got, the Greater Houston Black Chamber. You got the MBDA. You got, HCC. You got Houston First. You got OBO, which is the Office of Business of Opportunity. All of these different resources that a lot of people don't understand they have at their fingertips. We are one of the vessels that brings light to that. So one of the things that the program takes care of are these pitch competitions. And really fabulous, because you got these people who aren't really that comfortable in front of people and talking about their business and talking about what they do, and they don't understand that that 10-second elevator speech is really, really important, but you have to multiply that to a 1 minute and then a 3 minute and in some cases a 5 minute, because that's what's going to get you money when you're pitching. There are so many, we teach about all of the different elements about pitching. It's not just about you talking about a business. It's not about you just, rambling off and everything. People are evaluating you as a person. Do you have that passion? Are you skilled, or do you have experience in what you're talking about doing? How much research have you done? And that's going to come across when you're talking about your business. So we just try to get people to focus their mind, focus their thoughts, kind of systematically put things in place to really articulate that in front of a group of people. And we let them know, look, even if you're scared, get out there and pitch, because you never know who's out there in the crowd. You might have the next Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Jay-Z, whoever out there, and they might, man, that's a pretty good idea. You need a little polishing, but that's a pretty good idea. Let me go ahead and take them under my wing. Boom. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's my passion right there. Like, I love doing that.
I know, because I remember when I came to you and you would ask me every cohort, are you pitching? I was like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
And then I finally came to you and said, I'm ready. And you were like, word? So, yeah, and this year I'm actually going to pitch. But just coming out of, because I was in the mind frame of, I had to be in business longer, even though I've been doing this 2 decades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and been in business 20 years. That's a
Wow.
long time. I'm like, why am I not ready?
Yeah.
You know, when I'm one-on-one and I can talk about business with, you know, any and everyone when it comes to my brand. So why not pitch for what I need, right? If I'm helping
Right.
people. So how long does it really take to kind of polish someone up asking for a friend?
You know, well, honestly, it depends on them because you have to put in the work. I see a lot of people who have this unrealistic expectation about entrepreneurship. They are too sucked into that W-2, I call it, mind frame. Things that are given to you or kind of, you know, etched out for you to go and deliver. You have to create that, you know, that policy and procedure yourself. You have to find that inner motivation. You're not going to have a manager or somebody that's going to push you. Now, I am an accountability partner for a lot of people. I'm just saying.
True that.
But at the end of the day, it's good because we need that as entrepreneurs.
That's right.
Because since we don't have that normal classic structure in the W-2 society, you want to partner or be in the midst of other entrepreneurs. Don't make your circle nothing but W-2 employees because they're going to look at you and what you're trying to do with your business, and they're always going to cast doubt. They're always going to be like, why are you trying to do that?
Yeah.
Man, shit, get this check on the 1st and 15th, man. You're doing all this. No, you are following a dream. You have a belief. You see what I'm saying? You got to go after that, and you got to be around other crazy people
That's
who
right.
are willing to go after their dreams as well. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, as far as how long it takes, it just really depends. Some people are a little bit more advanced than others. Some people are more charismatic or ready to speak more than others. But some people who are more charismatic and want to speak don't have their business polished off, and they're not delivering the right content. So it just really depends, you know. But I do believe, and I always ask clients that come through the Entrepreneurship Center to do a SWOT analysis, not just on your business, but on yourself.
Yes.
Because that's the first step.
Correct.
You have to be honest with
Come
yourself.
on.
Now,
Yeah.
we're always out there talking about what our strengths are, but what are your weaknesses?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, let's just be real, you know. And I try to help, you know, respectfully pull that out of them and be like, okay, like, you know you tripping, right? Like, okay, let's just be real. So yeah, so it really depends on them.
That's
Awesome.
okay. So anyone, as long as you're ready, and then they talk to you, and you'll polish them up, get them ready.
No doubt. And look, it's an investment of your time.
Right.
The resources are here in the city. You have no excuses.
You got to
Carol,
do the work.
You have to do the work, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's the Houston is a great place. I ride for Houston so hard because I came here because I saw the opportunities, the entrepreneurship, the fellowship. You know, the fact that people in our space, in our individual spaces, can come together without intimidation, without anything, and let's just have open dialogue to build each other's business up. Because you know what's going to come back.
That's
There's
right.
no competition. This is a growing
right.
city.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? I'm sure. Down for me.
I love it, Branden Morris.
Awesome.
So, Carol,
Yes.
let's talk about this chamber business.
Yes, let's talk.
So, for one that is like, what's a chamber? Why should I be a part of a chamber? How will it benefit me? All of that stuff. Like, let's speak on that. Why should one join a chamber?
Well, one should join a chamber for many of the reasons that Branden stated. A chamber is a place for entrepreneurs to come to fellowship and network with other people in business. You can exchange ideas because it's hard being on your own as an entrepreneur. So that's one thing. You get the networking and you get the fellowship. I think that it's that business tends to trump kind of the emotional side of being an entrepreneur. But the emotional side is the piece that is most important because if you can't keep going, if you don't have that inner motivation, the business part doesn't work after a while. So that's one reason to join a chamber. A second reason to join the chamber is because we're advocates. We go after policies and procedures that will push businesses forward. So in our chamber, we have the Advocacy and Policy Committee. And what that committee does is visits with legislators on the local level, on the state level, and now we're moving to the national level. We dialogue with our congresspersons here And we're going to start doing more of that. But we seek to write legislation that benefits small businesses. So that's another reason to join the chamber. So in addition to that, we offer education. So we help entrepreneurs with classes and seminars with regard to taxes. Branden has done one for us before. And so you get education, and our motto is access, advocacy, and awareness. So we provide access to the community as far as, again, the legislators, the people who write legislation that affect our businesses, procurement people, those people who are at colleges and universities and corporations that offer work to entrepreneurs. If you want to, if you're a caterer, and you want catering jobs, we can put you in front of procurement officers who are looking for caterers. So that's another reason to join the chamber, because those outside businesses want to come to a one-stop shop. And they know that they can come to a chamber to find the entrepreneurs or businesses that they need to fulfill whatever their diversity quotas are, and also to fulfill whatever needs they may need at the time as far as services or products.
So it's no excuse
None.
No
at all.
excuse. No
At
excuse.
all. So let me ask you guys something, because I think knowing that even if one doesn't know, even though I try to expose the world to all of these great programs, I just feel like sometimes when you put these programs out there and you're saying, hey, attend, it's there, you're forcing someone to be accountable and do the work in their business. Why do you think people shy away from them and don't come to get free help? Why is that? Michelle?
I think it's for many reasons. Sometimes the competitiveness within the market, we've had a culture of crab syndrome. And I'm believing in having faith that we're coming out of it. As we have more programs like yours and what you offer at the chamber, and you giving us this platform, I think the more we get exposed that we have so much in common, the threads are intertwined, that we can do more together than we can individually. I think once we get out of our own way and realize that I really need you, I need you, I need you, then I think we can get there. But I think that's been the misconception, that we don't want nobody to steal our idea. It's our idea. If we tell somebody, they're going to steal it, you know? That's a mindset. And so there's a maturity that has to take place as we look at entrepreneurs as a culture, and building that culture that no man is an island, you know?
No man can stand alone.
No. And you need people to do business, especially entrepreneur, because we don't get the first and the 15th check.
Absolutely.
You know, and you
right.
need people to survive. So I think that's one of the main reasons, is that we're fearful, we're scared.
Yeah, fear is a big part of it. I mean, I like to tell people all the time, you know, you're not doing this by yourself. You know, so I get that a lot, where people talking about, well, I don't want anybody to steal my idea. Well, look, check this out. If this is your idea and you actually put the passion behind it, no one's going to do that better than
Come
you.
on,
Right.
come
If
on.
you believe in
Speak
it,
it.
right?
Yes.
So I should have the confidence in being able to tell you everything that I'm doing, but
Yes.
you're not going to be able to do me better than I can do me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But it's getting people to have that kind of confidence, you know, it's a little bit of stage fright, I think, you know, in a lot of cases, you know. And then, of course, life happens. You know, you know, people have come to the program, and I'll see them a couple of times, and I won't see them for a year or two, and they'll come back and say, well, you know, this has happened. You know, something with my child, something with my parents, something with something in life. You know, life happens. That's okay. But come back. You see what I'm saying? If this is really a passion, don't just let it die on the table. You know, work through your life's issues and then come back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then you have repeat offenders like me.
And we accept you back every time.
That's key.
I
Coming
love
back
it.
is key.
Yeah.
Because I think entrepreneurs get in their mind that the way to success is to work all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Just work,
that-
work. And the networking piece, the support piece, they don't find out until they start getting burnt out that those pieces are important. And that you have to network, I think the best combination, though, is to have an entrepreneur and a partner.
Yeah.
Someone to go out and do the networking.
Yeah.
If that's not your forte. I mean, sometimes that's not part of a person's personality to just be out there. And then I've kind of run into it's not important to go to these events. I just need to work. So
Can I just want to say, because that resonates with me. You think about someone going into a job, they go into a job, an 8-to-5 job. They don't have to open the door. They don't have to make the coffee. They don't have to turn on the computers. When they go, they sit there, they do the work. But an entrepreneur, you have to open the door. You have to make it happen. And when you make it happen, things go wrong. And so in a corporation, you don't see all the errors behind the scene. But when you're the one doing the work,
That's how you learn.
it is difficult to face that adversity sometime when you're facing it by yourself. And being able to have the perseverance to push through the obstacles and the no's, when you get so many no's from a bank or from a funder or from, you get those no's. But just learning, if you keep pressing through, you're going to eventually get a yes.
You gotta have alligator skin.
Yeah,
okay?
you do.
You can't
Yeah,
get
you
shit live here and there. Okay, and then with the networking part, I've heard that before, and I think it's just that people don't know how to network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It's not about you just showing up to a place that you got in for free or might be paid $10 for, shake a couple of hands, get the free wine and cheese, and then you out. Right.
Yeah.
No, you have to create relationships. You have to create bonds, okay? Because we're
That's
not
correct.
robots. We're not
Right.
doing business with I'm not doing business with your business card.
That's right.
I'm doing business with you. Do I feel some type of connection, some type of honest pull that, like, you know what? That person, he or she would be really cool to work with. So, let me give them a call. Let me make a little note or something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's strategic networking and being responsible. Don't just get the business cards, go home, put them in that drawer that everybody know you got that drawer. You just put everything in, and you got the
Don't call us out,
you know what I'm
Branden.
saying? The
Don't
sticky
do it.
candy at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You might see it a year and a half later. No, you have to follow up. Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yes.
Would you like to, grab a cup of coffee or
Yes.
let me meet at your office or vice versa, and actually start to build a relationship. It's like dating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is such a reflection of our personal lives, So you don't just meet somebody, walk up on, hey, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm just expecting you to feel me, right? No,
Right,
we have to
right.
create that relationship.
That's
The
right.
court.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to court. You have to court that lead. So I think that people have a really bad misconception about networking and everything.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to, but yeah.
All right, everyone.
I'm fired up on that.
All right, hang on, everyone, as we take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors. Stick around for more of the Winning Brand Podcast Live Edition.
Just like music.
Welcome to Shoot Your Shot, the C. Allen Experience. Shoot Your Shot is a fun, interactive photography experience where your smartphone makes you the most powerful person in the room.
Love, show us some hearts.
It's hosted by me, photographer C. Allen.
You want to be the smartest person in the room, the coolest person in the room? Get to shoot your shot next time, okay? So you can learn how to be so innovative and creative with your cell phone.
All you need is a charged iPhone or Android, and you're ready to take your mobile photography skills to the next level. I look forward to transforming you and your friends into some amazingly dope mobile photographers. I invite you to come out and shoot your shot.
We out here doing photos at night. The Nocturnus is here. We got a DJ up inside. There's drinks, there's dancing, there's food. Man, y'all missed it. Too bad, too sad.
Hey winners, Chasey McGee here. I want you to join the conversation over on our YouTube channel, The Winning Brand. I have an awesome live stream coming up and the guests are ready to pour into you. And of course, I'll drop some special gems as well. Go ahead and subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications on new content. We'll be waiting for you.
I'm Bridget Sharice Holden, a publicist that's outside of the box and forward thinking. I bridge the gap between you and the media by building your brand through relationships, collaborations, and partnerships. I help tell the story of innovating brands who are ready to let the world know who they are. I am She Bridges PR, bridging the gap between you and the media.
Have you ever thought as a business owner, how can I get my product or service in the hands of consumers all over the world? By becoming a sponsor of the Winning You Live podcast tour, you will be able to get your business in front of thousands on a global level. Unlike ad placements on other platforms, our ads are evergreen and on demand wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Don't just run a business, create a brand. Contact us today at winningbrandpodcast.com. Welcome back to the Winning Brand Podcast Live Edition. Joining me today, I have Michelle Harden, Branden Morris, and Miss Carol Guest. We are talking about community assistance for entrepreneurs in the community. So, we had an amazing first half in our first conversation. So let's continue that. I want to talk about OPM. Other people's money.
That's a good conversation.
Branden, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Because you advocate a lot to go get other people's money.
Most definitely.
Why?
Because
You don't want me to spend my own money?
No, I don't. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your own money. So there's a difference. You should definitely have money because that's an asset. You know, whether it's liquid or not, that's an asset for you to get other people's money. I definitely go against teachings like Dave Ramsey because I believe that when people talk about you shouldn't, run credit or you shouldn't, get loans or lines of credit and stuff like that, in my opinion, you're speaking from a position of almost like not privilege, but you already have that, right? You have that option. Everybody doesn't have that option. And I'm going to tell you like this. I come from corporate, and I had a 401k. That's not something that I would have liked to use. Right now I did, but if I always, I always counsel my people to say, look, if you have that 401k, keep it. Use it as collateral to get a line of credit or something like that. The purpose of that line of credit is to make money, and you pay that back. But you still got your 401k. You still have that asset. So don't think that if you walk into a bank, a Chase, a Wells Fargo, or whoever, that you're just going to automatically get turned down. Man, there are thousands of banks out there. Thousands, right? But they each have different underwriting guidelines. Now, yeah, you got your big four, your Wells Fargo, your Chase, your Bank of America, and the other one, and yeah, they may have a tradition of saying no, but they got so many other ones out there. BBVA, Compass, Iberia. You have community lenders like Lift Fund and Mullins, HBDI. And that's just on the lending side. Then you talk about investors. We talked about partners and things of that nature, right? Well, you want to bring people in who are not just invested because they say, yeah, I love what you're doing, I want to get down this, that, and the third, and that. Put your money where your mouth is.
That's
okay.
Right.
Invest some resources, some finances into this business, and let's make it grow. You see what I'm saying? Then I could take you really, really seriously. Now you're bought in. You got equity now. So that's why if I don't make it, we don't make it, and if I lose some money, we lose some money. Right?
That's right.
So that's the ultimate accountability, right there.
Yes,
You see what I'm saying?
yes.
And you don't give it away. I know I'm just giving all kinds of nuggets. You don't just give away
That's
equity.
right,
You
that's
make
right.
people buy equity.
That's
you see what I'm
right.
saying? There is a value to what you bring to the table. So you have to make sure that you make that known to whoever you're offering equity to, that they okay, this is value what I have right here, and I'm going to do it regardless of where we hook up now. But if we do hook up, we can do it better and bigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So buy into it. Give me some money, give me some resources, let's make it happen, right?
Very, very true. One of the things that I want you guys to know in choosing a lender, check the industry first. Check the bank. Who do you favor in lending? Ask them. They'll tell you. If it's boutiques or gas stations or whatever. Find that lenders that cater to that industry. And it's easier to get a loan versus trying to, go to the major, banks. Sometimes it may be an Amergy. We're just throwing these names out. Some sponsorship.
That's right.
But it's real because, some banks, they will say specifically, we're not lending in that industry right now.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right.
So don't even waste your time with filling out an application and have your credit pulled.
Yeah.
So you have to do your homework too. It's about, really being empowered and taking the bull by the horns. You have to do your homework. You can't just expect that people are just going to come to you with the information. You have to go seek it. You have to dig. You have to ask questions. You have to get with people and find it out. That's your job as an entrepreneur.
I love it, Branden.
Wow.
Thank you. So, Carol, why is it important that a system is created for entrepreneurship for minorities?
That a system is created for.
Yeah, like why should that system be in place for minorities? Like, I know we struggle
Yes.
with getting so many resources, and we have to be in a certain class or under-resourced to get this. Like, why is that important for the awareness to be brought out, and we keep creating programs and things like the Chamber and, the Small Business University?
Okay. Well, the reason why it's important to have a channel for minorities to get to the funding sources and to get to those procurement jobs is just historical racism in our society. I think a lot of people think that just because you're seeing different demographics of people getting together on television today and all the younger group is not as, I guess, quote unquote, racist, for lack of a better term, than older people. It doesn't mean that the institutionalized racism has gone away. And so we start out with fewer resources. We start out with fewer contacts. We don't have the legacy wealth that the majority population has. So, and a lot of times, there's a group of people, I'll say, that made it their business to hold us back. So there needs to be a lane created to remove the resistance to our creating wealth through business and entrepreneurship. And it's historical. And so we have to overcome years and years and years of that, of boundaries and obstacles. So and which continue and persist. So that's why we need a lane created. Now, we wouldn't necessarily need a lane created if everybody started off on the same level. But if you're next to me and we're both running a race and you don't have anything in your lane, but I have a wall, I have a string,
A tire.
yeah, all of those things that I have to get over first, you're way down the road and I'm still back here trying to jump over these hurdles. So that's why we need a lane created that is debris free, so that we can move through it and show the world that we have businesses and products and ideas that need to be on display and that can work and serve other people. So that's why we need it.
I knew you would come with something juicy. I knew it. So, Michelle, you started your talk show for those who have lost hope of finding their purpose in life. Tell us what your experience was with that and what was your motivation behind that.
Wow, we're talking about years ago.
Yes, I remember.
Yes.
I was there.
The underdog has always been a heart of mine. I don't know why. I've always been pulled to the people who have not had an opportunity to make it, but have every potential and desire to do so. So we started off by doing a talk show with the First Ladies. So First Ladies, why First Ladies? Because oftentimes in church, the attention is on the pastor. And they get a good brunt of a lot of the hardship, the weight, the family. They don't have that identity. And so they get pushed back. Even, after the sermon, look at the pastor standing there, he's preached a good word. Who do they run to? Do they run to the First Lady and say, hey, First Lady, how you doing?
That's a pastor.
They run directly to the pastor. So the purpose of creating that platform was to bring those First Ladies together to help them understand there was a gift that God wanted them to do and to be able to find their place. So through that, we were able to connect a lot of them together, where even today, they're connected best friends. They do conferences together. We took them to the White House when Obama was in, to the East Wing, West Wing, and we just built that platform. And so I'm not limited to just first ladies. God sent me to the prison. I told him, I'm sick of these church people. I told them, look, these church be working my nerves. Because I saw the gift in the church. You know, people have an entrepreneur spirit, and we just sit there. We hear faith, but we won't step out and do it. We won't step out of the boat, even though we hear that message every Sunday. So the Lord sent me to the prison, and I ultimately working with about 175 women, incarcerated women, teaching them a business plan. Underdogs, people that you would count out. And so when we say lost hope, I believe that hope is not lost until you hit the grave. So as long as you, like Les Brown says, you know, if you're down and you're looking up, you can get up. You know, you don't have to stay down. So while there's a lot of motivation and energy being placed on people who have business and that are thriving, I believe that entrepreneurship gives us that road without debris, you know, that we can control our own time. Think about it. Women in prison, she come out, she go work at Jack in the Box, what does she have to do? Check a box. But if I can get her to do a business plan and she want to create a potato food truck, give her her own business and let her let her be mentored, and then let her progressively be mentored and have that business to soar, and then in a year sell that business to her for a penny. We're talking about $10,000 investment. That's where my heart is, with the people who have lost hope. That's it. That's it. I knew it. That's it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Branden, and I love how you guys have such a heart like mine. And I think this panel is so awesome because we have a love for business and a heart for people. And that is the core thing behind the winning brand. And like you said, it's never been about me.
That's right.
I get asked 1,000 times, why the winning brand? Because everybody wants to win.
Yes.
Everybody should win, right?
Yes.
So it's not about me, it's about you. And how can I help you?
That's right.
And bring the people to help you become the winning brand. So Branden, with that being said, my new fellow podcaster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the Smarter Startup.
Okay, so the Smarter Startup Podcast is a podcast that we are bringing to the forefront to address all of these issues that we're talking about today. Our goal is to bring on high-level guests like yourselves to speak the truth and open up those avenues where people may not have known things before. We also are going to give some technical assistance to people. Just talking to them about the rigors of entrepreneurship. You know, there is like you said, the emotional side. There is the mental and the physical side, the physical toll. I mean, you can't work yourself into the ground, because if you're not around to enjoy the fruits of your labor, then what's the point?
That's
you know?
right.
So it's going to be a very holistic podcast. My co-host Adam Bob is a professional comedian. So he's going to, because I'm the straight guy, so he's going to add a little levity to the show.
And he does do that.
Oh, yeah. and we're just going to have some fun talking about entrepreneurship and the opportunities that are out there on a local, regional, and national level, and international. Because we're going to address everything. You know, one of the things that I applaud the Black Chamber on is reaching out deliberately to international business owners in other countries to try to foster that relationship and open up those lines of communication, because we have to break out of this mental prison that we put ourselves in, like we're scared to do business in other countries. Why?
Yeah.
They want our business. They want to know that there are people who look like them, or people who have access and resources here in Houston that they can engage with and do something with, right? So it's going to be a really holistic experience that I'm looking to bring to the table with the help of the winning brand.
Yes. Thank you, Branden.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So The 4 C's that I think entrepreneurs must have in building communities that convert. That's something that I'm really embarking on, and I'm really pressing that initiative, right? So I gave all of you a C,
Okay.
and I want you to talk about it, okay?
Okay.
So Michelle, yours is clarity.
Oh, okay. Clarity. Oh my God, you have to be clear. You have to be crystal clear on what your goal is. I heard Branden talk about when he was introducing the SMART,
The
Smartest startup.
that his goal was to. And I think if you're clear, and it starts with writing it down, and this is something that we evade and we don't really want to do, is write a business plan. The business plan today is not the same as it was yesterday, and that's something we have to understand. It's more visual, it's more PowerPoint. I mean, it's not as rigorous as it was before. However, if you don't have a plan, you won't be clear about what your goal is, and you will see yourself evolving. Anytime you see somebody else doing something, you're going to start doing that. You see somebody else do it, you're going to start doing that because you have no clarity as to who you are and your purpose. I can't evade who I am, but the Bible says, Jeremiah 1:5, before we were even formed in our mother's womb, that was a God idea about us. It was already determined who we were going to be in the earth. So if we're walking that out and we're very intentional about who that is, we understand who it is because we've written it down, then it will be difficult for us to go out of those boundaries. And I think I said that a minute ago, talking about boundaries, and that being clear. Sometimes clarity also, you need accountability. Because some things you could think you're good at and you're really not. You need that person to say, that's your weakness. You need to work on that. And so having people around you to help you navigate through what you believe you're hearing will help you with clear vision. We have spiritual advisors, we have mentor business advisors, we have coaches, because I believe in all aspects of your life, you have to be well-grounded. And if you want to, be able to pitch something or be able to join, an organization that's going to help you forge forward, they're going to want to know, do you really know what you're talking about? And that comes with, can you do your 30-second elevator speech? What is it? What is your pitch? And so when you have that mental clarity, and that comes with dieting and exercise, going to bed early, so many things tied into mental clarity, and just spiritual. You're in tune and aligned with who you are. You're okay with it. And so I think being clear will allow you to be healthier to so many other people, whether it's your spouse, your children, and in a business sense, it will help you to be, good with other people that you're doing business with. Yeah.
I knew it was a word, right? That's why I knew to give it to her. All right. Well, let's bring it on over.
I wanted character.
That's not on the list. I know. It's not on the list. No. These are Chase's C's, okay? Connection.
Wow.
Well, I think connection is really, really important for entrepreneurs, and that's one of the main things that entrepreneurs miss is connection.
Yeah.
Because, as I stated earlier, we're so focused. As I'm an entrepreneur too. We are so focused on getting the work done that we miss that we need connections in order to grow our business. We need connections to just get business in to support our business. So I think finding mentorship groups, people who are like-minded, that you can feel like be in a safe space to talk about your business and really kind of brainstorm ideas and, does this work for you? Did that work for you? Do you think this is something I should do? Those types of conversations are very important. So it has to be prioritized. Maybe we can create a new entrepreneur, kind of like a doll, and then say part of the entrepreneurship clothing that this person is going to wear is a necktie of connection. Because
innovation. Don't innovate there.
The new entrepreneur needs to think that way.
Yeah.
Right. I cannot be in this space by myself and be successful. So connection needs to be part of a playbook for the new entrepreneur.
Wow.
Connection to me is really everything, and I really learned that through the chamber because there are so many brilliant ideas that flow at our events. And sometimes I just sit in my office and go, what was I doing before I got involved with the chamber. There are different levels of business leaders there that I can go and talk to about, well, what did you do in this situation? How did you make it out of this? What happened when your money was low? What happened when you didn't meet your quota for the month? You know, and then there are people that I can assist who are trying to get where I am. So I just think connection needs to be raised in the new entrepreneurship playbook. That's what
I like
There you go. There you go.
Yes. That's good. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
So you can piggyback off of hers, but
Oh, very important. Very important. You know, collaboration encompasses so much. You know, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't put out there what are the things that you are wanting to accomplish, then you don't give yourself the chance for the right people to hear what you're doing and offer that help. Or you have that business out there that you can strategically align with perfectly to do something greater. You know, some of the things that we talk about or that we help businesses do is go after some of these major contracts that the city puts out, the county, you know, other major corporations and everything like that. And one of the major things that these contractors are looking for, which is another C, is capacity. If you're an entrepreneur, you're just starting out, you're not expected to have this full 30, 50, 100 person team with all these different resources and stuff. It's not possible. But you may be able to get into a community with other people to collaborate with to become stronger as one unit. Everybody's accountable for their own job, and you make that very clear. And you go out there and you do what you have to do for that contract. You see what I'm saying? And you build your name that way. So collaboration is extremely important. You got to play nice in the sandbox. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, really, we're not going to do all of this all by ourselves. And as much as people think they're going to do things specifically by themselves, they're really fooling themselves. You see what I'm saying? And they're holding themselves back. So collaboration is extremely important. You have to have clarity to understand the importance of collaboration. You have to utilize connecting to understand how to get that collaboration going. You got to communicate. It's oh my goodness.
Community talk, as the young
There
people say.
you go. The community talk with purpose and be real with purpose. And be real. Don't. It's connecting. It's all this vibe, this spirit, this energy that you're sharing with someone else. That doesn't mean that just because you're sitting here talking to somebody else that you have to force those energies to work together and everything. It's okay, but it doesn't mean you stop, talking or stop trying to collaborate. You just go with the flow, and eventually you're going to find that right person that you're connecting with. Like, you know what? Wow, you're finishing my sentences and things just make sense. Let's do something great together.
Yeah.
Because you're good at that. Man, my business partner, this dude, let me tell you something. Okay, so I'm the mouthpiece, right? I'm the one, I'm getting out there, I'm talking, I'm doing this, now y'all want the whoop, right?
I would have never guessed that.
No, I'm really an introvert, but he is the mathematical brain behind the business, and we collaborate together. We work perfectly together. We've been together for 6 years now, and we're looking forward to a lifetime because we're on the same page.
That's like that marriage you talked about.
Yeah. It's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, very important.
Okay. Well, mine is create.
Yeah.
So I feel as if we need to create our own opportunities sometimes.
Yes.
We can't expect opportunities to be handed to us.
Yes.
Especially people that know my dream have been watching the podcast for any amount of time. I wanted to be on CNN.
Wow.
However, I was not going to wait for that call. So I decided to create my own platform and be the face that I wanted to see, report the things that I wanted to report, and then expound on that and collaborate and have that clarity to connect with the right people, right? So creating, I don't think we put ourselves in enough creative situations to do that, and I think that comes with your core people and who you hang around, elevating each other and being creative and bouncing ideas off of each other and having someone that, run crazy stuff by with the white paper on the wall,
There you go.
So things like that help. So my thing is create and create your own lane. And do not expect anyone to give you anything.
Yes, that's good.
Because sometimes we
That's
wait for
big.
those handouts. They're not going to come. Simply, they're just not going to come. I love it. So let's talk about, has anybody met the scatterbrain entrepreneur? On a daily. Yeah, the scatterbrain, the ones that's all over the place. I want to do this, I want to do that, maybe, and then it's a hobby, but no, it's a real business. No, well, today, that one.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one come through the chamber?
Yes. Yes,
What's your
I have.
advice to that person?
Well, actually, one of the things that we do, and I think we do it well, is partner with people.
Really?
So when we find a scatterbrained entrepreneur or one who is starting, we ask them to visit the Urban League.
Oh, then they
Because
from your program.
the Urban
There
League
you go.
has many, many great programs for people who are looking to start businesses and who may not quite know where they fit. They know they have an entrepreneurial spirit but don't know where to put it. So that's one of our partnerships and collaborations and connections.
And it's a great
we
one.
Send them on over because they've really finessed that space, and they know how to communicate with people in that mindset. So we don't take on things that we don't know how to do. We're not trying to mess anybody up. We want to help somebody who is a little bit further along, and so since they have the resources, why not?
Right.
We collaborate and send them on over.
Collaboration's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah.
So who can speak on the innovation of entrepreneurship? Because we know to be ahead of the competition and to stay in the race, in this rat race, right when you think you're getting your footing in it, and then someone comes up and your competition is like, come up with the same idea. So how can we remain innovative, and how can we
That's
keep that
good.
going?
That's
Remain innovative. Don't tell anybody your idea.
But Branden
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, I think that's
No, well, can I speak on it from a...
please.
Okay.
illegal.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, let's go. Let's speak from a legal sense.
First of all, ideas cannot be protected under the law. So that is why you don't need to tell everybody your idea. So remaining innovative, in my mind, means you write down your ideas on a notebook in the privacy of your own space.
What about a sticky on the wall?
You can put a sticky, you can put white paper, whatever you want to do, you put it in your own space. And then you take protective measures to protect that which you have written down. And then you go and talk to somebody about it. Because innovation is created by bouncing ideas off of people. But take the step to protect as much as you can before you do that. I'm not saying you don't have to talk about it, but get those things in order first and then talk about it.
So basically, protecting your assets.
Right. Yes. Protecting your
Assets.
I think one of the biggest things and one of the main things is for you to realize what your value proposition is. What is
Yes.
we as humans like to think that we're coming up with the new thing, that thing that no one has thought of, right? Because I'm going to do it like this. Look. It's all been done before, right? All we're doing is we're approaching it with a little different angle, or we're doing with this, or we have more celebrities so we can push it this way or whatever. But you have to realize what is that value proposition that you bring to the table, okay? So that you don't have to, not be unoriginal, but let's just be real. If I'm selling something, you're selling something, you're selling something. Okay, what is it that that's making us unique? And if you don't answer that, then you're robbing yourself, you're depriving yourself that innovation that we also want to take advantage of. We are in a technology-driven world.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about, well, I want to do an app. Okay, cool. Well, what's your app going to do? Well, it's going to do X, Y, Z. Okay, cool. Well, how is that going to happen? I mean, you got to keep getting people to go down the rabbit hole and answer very specific questions. You see what I'm saying? When at that time you probably will need an NDA or something to protect your idea and everything as you get to the granular details. But at the end of the day, if you cannot answer specifically what is my value proposition, why am I different, what is going to separate me in the market and make this thing go, then you're not going to make it out of the gate.
I was just in a program, it's actually the McNair Entrepreneur and Management Program, and there were about 15 people, all different ideas in the room, and we had to share our idea. And one of the things the professor said is pitching, when you have an opportunity to pitch your idea, if you're afraid of someone stealing it, then 9 times out of 10 it's not going to happen. People can imitate you, but they can never be the original you. They'll never have all that it takes. And it's important because sometimes you can have an idea that you think is the baddest idea on this earth, only to find out when you went through patent, trademark, and all those things that it's something that already exists in that nature. So unless you have a safe place, and I tell you, hearing the other 15 people, is nothing that they do that I want to do. And I can tell you, it's nothing that was more passionate to me than what I do and what I'm able to offer to people. So I think one of the keys as far as people who are innovative is stay ahead of the curve. There's this movement and this time that's coming with artificial intelligence. And if we don't understand what the programs are in STEM, our children are getting it. But then you look at our generation, we're texting is going to go to a whole nother different level. We're on Facebook. There are other platforms that are about to be rolled out. How do we integrate? How do we create technologies to help us stay in the forefront of that innovation? And we do that by looking at what is missing.
Right.
What is missing? I was talking to my husband about, there's this video. We had to look at the lobster diving over in Honduras and other countries. And right now, as they dive, they're getting stung by the lobsters. That is literally leaving them paralyzed, right? I mean, it makes you not even want to eat lobsters anymore. It's on YouTube. Take a look at it, lobster diving. But we looked at that. That's right. But we got a chance to look at that. And when we looked at it, me and my husband both began to innovate. We began to say, they need to have on rubber, gear. They need to have on rubber protective deals. And he says, no, they need a suction, a vacuum suction that'll suck all the lobsters. So, out and then filter them through a thing. But I said that to say, when we look at a problem, that's where we find innovation.
Right.
And we're able to answer, what the real problem. So I think that's how we stay ready to learn. Attend workshops. Don't ever think that you have all the information, that you're the catch-all to everything. I went back to school as a non-traditional student, sat in class with children, my children's age, very humbling, and finished my degree, bachelor's degree last year. Very humbling.
Congratulations.
Saturday, I'm marching with my master's. Why? Because education is it's an addiction. Once you start learning and understanding how much you don't know, that's when you really can be an asset to people. And you can stay ahead of the curve with innovation. I think that's important. That's important.
No doubt.
Well, I really, really want to thank you guys for being here today because
Thank
you
you.
could
you for having me.
be anywhere else, but you chose to be on the Winning Brand podcast, and
Yes.
that means so much to me, especially to pour into my audience. So tell people how to get connected with you and stay connected.
Everybody's looking at me. Connect with the Brand Master, guys. I'm on social media and on Instagram as Michelle R. Harden or Michelle Renee Harden on Facebook. That's the best way you can reach out to me, inbox me, and I would love to connect with you.
Okay, well, you can reach me at Branden at BasilSolutionsLLC.com. You can go to our webpage, Basil Solutions. We have Facebook, Basil Solutions, Basil Construction. Or you can come to the Houston Area Urban League and the Entrepreneurship Center at 1301 Texas Avenue. Or you can call Carol or Chase. They know how to get at me.
I can be reached at the Chamber, 713-660-8299. We're also the Greater Houston Black Chamber on all social media, and our website is ghbcc.com.
I love it. Well, everyone, there you have it. I hope this helps you to understand and know how to seek community assistance because it's out there and funds are definitely available. You just have to do your due diligence and go out there and get it. As we wrap for the day, everyone, always remember, success doesn't happen by accident. When it's the opportunity meets preparedness. Until next week, I'm Chasey McGee. Bye.
This is the Winning Brand Podcast, the podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and small businesses level up with the right tools and resources to help you win in business. Now your host, Chase McGee.